Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 11, titled The Holding. And this was another great episode. I think I'm just going to stop saying that because every episode this season has been pretty good. And this season overall is, it's already 11 episodes in. I think it's safe to say that this season can go down as a good season. But the reason I'm happy this episode was good is because we're into a new arc now. We have the end is the beginning people. We still don't really have an exact name for them. They call their place, they call it the Holding. We have names for the people like Riley and Teddy. Those are some of the main characters or main leaders of the end is the beginning people. I thought they're both great characters. I really like Riley, and Teddy is great. We didn't see too much of Teddy this episode. But John Glover's a great actor, so I'm excited to see more of him in the future. And yeah, we're going to be talking about the episode in this review, obviously, so I want to give a general spoiler warning in case you aren't caught up. But yeah, and then also, if you are a fan of the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more Walking Dead content like this. But yeah, let's get into the video. So the opening minutes were great. I love the opening sequence where we had the voiceover from Teddy. And he's such like a mysterious character that I'm definitely excited to learn more about his past, because everyone there seems to have a lot of respect for him. He seems to be the person who essentially built all of this, maybe, or at least the brains behind it. You know, like there were scenes where they were waiting for him at the elevator and everybody was there. You know, we were just waiting to see what happens, who he is. So stuff like that, you know, they did a really good job building up the suspense and the hype for who this guy was. And again, we didn't see too much of him, but we probably will learn more about him in the future, which I'm excited about. So we saw them getting ready for what they call the new recruits, which is weird. They call them the new recruits, but at the same time, you know, it's a little bit weird because they were almost giving them an option to stay there or leave. You know, like you can choose, but then at the end we learned that there really is no option, which I thought was weird. You know, I mean, I guess they were sort of just testing them to see what they would choose. You know, because if they say yes, we will stay here, then they can be friends. But if they say no, you know, then they know they're not really, or they're just gonna be bad towards them, which they are now. You know, probably gonna go after Morgan and them, because we saw what they were planning. They were trying to get rid of everything above ground, and I think they're just trying to start fresh. So yeah, definitely a weird group, one of the weirdest groups we've had on the show. I mean, their system of doing things is also you know, unique for sure. Like they even made pizza for the characters, which was so weird to see pizza on The Walking Dead. I mean, when does that ever happen? I mean, that was just so weird to see that. I mean, they had like a whole kitchen setup back there. Literally I felt like it was like in a restaurant. You know, we had people grating cheese and cutting vegetables and tomatoes, and I love the way they filmed it too, just going down the line and you just saw everyone doing their part. And yeah, it was pretty much like a restaurant over there. Yeah, like when the group showed up and they started talking to Riley, like right away things were not really looking, or things were looking suspicious, because he wasn't answering the questions. He was so certain that, you know, he was talking to Luciana. He was like, there's no other place like this before. I mean, and that is weird for them to say that, because I feel like they know about the CRM, which I'll talk about in a little bit, because we did have some CRM connections in this episode. So I don't really know what they're, you know, I don't know if they're, I don't know, it would be weird if they were working with the CRM, because there's no way they can take down the CRM. You know, the CRM is huge, but they were trying to get rid of everything, again, you know, above ground and restart and stuff like that. So again, we'll get to that CRM thing in just a moment, because that was pretty cool. I like the little touch they added there in the episode with Teddy and his voice throughout the episode through the intercom. That was really interesting, because it sounded like something you would hear like on a train, like, you know, those the automatic voices in the train that kind of tell you like what stop you're on, or like at an amusement park or something like that. You know, that was kind of interesting to see there with his character, and it was just sort of him repeating the same things. I mean, it didn't repeat too much. Like, we were hearing new things throughout the episode, but I'm assuming that was like a pre-recorded thing. So it probably is something that they just keep hearing over and over and over again, which is also a little bit weird and kind of makes you question, is like Teddy like brainwashing these people? Like, what really is his plan? Does he really think this community underground is going to solve all the problems, or are they going to rebuild without the help of anybody else? I mean, they are recruiting people, but at the same time, I feel like they're not really thinking about this all the way through, because there are so many other communities out there that they just don't know about, unless they do know about them, and we'll learn about that in the future. Again, we'll talk about the CRM in just a moment. But I do feel like Teddy potentially could be brainwashing them, especially if they just keep hearing his, speech over and over again or whatever. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. For our main group of characters, this episode was really good for Alicia and Wes, which I'm glad, because those characters, we haven't seen too much of this season. That's been one of my biggest complaints about the season, is that they have been forgetting about certain characters. Like, Alicia's like one of the main characters in the show. She is arguably the main character of the show, right? Like, she's Madison's daughter, and they haven't done too much with her this season. But this episode was really good for her, and Wes as well. Like, I really did like that reunion between Wes and his brother. Those scenes between them were great. The actor for Wes was terrific in this episode as well. Like that scene where Wes and Derek were talking and Derek was painting. That scene was really good. Colby Hallman was terrific in that scene, and the whole episode for that matter. I like that scene a lot, and I fell for it. I thought Derek was going to be helping them, which I think he was, until, he said himself, until they mentioned Morgan. But we'll talk about it now, I guess. The rest of that story was just really sad, how they decided to sneak out. And, Derek was really, this group is scary at the end of the beginning, people, because Derek was saying that if they, catch us, they'll kill us. So, really scary group for sure. And then when they left, they quickly caught them. Riley and them were downstairs when they got off the elevator, and things went bad really quickly. Like when they were in that embalming room, that was pretty frightening. I didn't really know what was going to happen. The music was also great in that scene. It was very intense, really well done scene. And then we had that scene between Wes and Derek when they were looking at that walker again, and he was asking him what he saw, the walker on the tree. Yeah, that was a really emotional scene as well, because Wes had to kill his brother. Now, part of me does wish that we knew more about them, in the past, like we saw more of them in their relationship throughout the episodes. Then I feel like that scene, because that was a really well done scene. It reminded me of the Rick and Shane scene almost in season 2 when Rick killed Shane. It reminded me of that. But I just feel like if we spend more time with those characters, that scene would have hit a lot harder, and it would have been a lot more impactful. Because again, it was a really well made scene. I just wish we spent a lot more time with those characters over the past 2 seasons. But yeah, Wes was great in this episode, and then he went back to the embalming room, and then they escaped, so that was great. And then when they went inside of that room, with the bunch of walkers who had like their mouths shut, that was a really good scene also, and it was really creepy. It was like almost like they were walking through a haunted house, because they knew like the walkers couldn't hurt them, but at the same time it was still very scary just walking through that. So that was also a really well done scene. But then we had that moment with that one walker that was in the CRM outfit, and then Al was checking if that was Isabel, which it wasn't. But now that kind of brings me to the CRM conversation of the video that I wanted to talk about, because yeah, it does seem like there are some CRM connections between this group and the beginning. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into it, because we can go on and on and on about this, and I want to keep it to the review, but I do think there could be some connections that this group knows about the CRM. First of all, they had that soldier in there, so they must have questioned, where would someone get a suit like that? And then also Wes's brother Derek had those images of the CRM symbol and the maps and all that kind of stuff. So there has to be some sort of connection, which is why I was sort of questioning, like, why does why does this group, the end at the beginning, why are they saying that we need to get rid of everything up there? Like, do they not know about the CRM? Like, how are they gonna, the CRM has way more people than them. Are they just, oblivious to that fact that they have 200,000 people? Do they just not know about them too much? They just know about them as much as Althea does, just like there's a group out there. That could be the case. But that's something I'm definitely interested in learning more about in the future, hopefully, because I'm still wondering how Derek got those, maps and stuff like that Althea saw when she had that episode with Isabel. And then speaking of Isabel, this episode also sets up that Althea is still waiting for that reunion with Isabel. And even that scene with Dwight, they're putting attention to that. So I would be really surprised if there isn't going to be more of that in the future. And I feel like, would they have these moments if there isn't something planned in the future between Isabel and Althea? So you guys let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But they're still focusing on that story. So I feel that there could potentially be more in the future for that. And then we saw them escape, and then Alicia got left back. And I want to talk about Alicia now because that was the other character who I said her and Wes had they were great in this episode. And Alicia, like I said, was a character who they haven't been doing too much with this season. And this episode was great for her. She had a great standoff there with Teddy at the end. She had a great fight also with that one guy in the embalming room. That was a really well done fight. Some great action sequences there. And yeah, that scene with her and Teddy at the end there, that was interesting because it looks like, Teddy is trying to recruit Alicia. And the way they ended it was sort of suspenseful. Like, is Alicia going to join them? What do you guys think? I don't know why they would end it like that if it's just an easy no. Like she was saying, like, I'm not buying any of this. So yeah, I feel like maybe there could be a potential there that she is intrigued by this group. Maybe they have something that she finds interesting. I hope not. I hope she stays with the main group because they're clearly not good people. But that was an interesting way to end the episode. You guys let me know what you think about that. Now this video is running pretty long, so I am gonna wrap it up there. This episode was packed. There's a lot there, and there's a lot to talk about. So I'm definitely interested in hearing what you guys think about the episode and this new group and the connections with the CRM potentially. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. But like I said, I am gonna wrap it up there. Overall, great episode for Alicia and Wes. Great introduction to this new group. I'm excited to see more of them in the future. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. And for more Walking Dead videos like this, be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you guys soon.